In this lesson, we are going to talk about adsorption isotherm and application of adsorptions. Now, what are adsorption isotherms? Adsorption of a gas on a solid surface depends on the pressure of the gas. That is, pressure is one of the factors that affects the extent of adsorption. And greater is the pressure of the gas above the surface of adsorption, higher will be the extent of adsorption. Now the term isotherm, iso means constant or same and therm is derived from temperature. So it means isotherms are those relationships or those curves which are obtained when we plot the extent of adsorption against pressure at a constant temperature. Now Freundlich in the year 1909 gave an empirical relationship that could relate the quantity of the gas adsorbed per unit mass of the solid adsorbent with pressure at a particular temperature, and the relationship can be expressed as x by m equal to k into p raised to the power 1 by n, where k and n are constants which depend upon the nature of the adsorbent and the adsorbate, whereas x by m denotes extent of adsorption and p denotes pressure. When we take log of the above equation, we obtain log x by m equal to log k plus 1 by n log p, which we can easily compare with a straight line equation y is equal to mx plus c. Thus, if we are plotting log x by m on y-axis and log p on x-axis, and if we obtain a straight line, then the Freundlich adsorption isotherm, validity of this isotherm is proved, and we can say that x by m varies with pressure as per this equation. Now the slope of the straight line which is obtained by plotting log x by m against log p will give you the value of 1 by n, from which easily we can calculate the value of the constant n, and the intercept on the y-axis will give the value of log k, again from which we can calculate the value of k. So this is the sort of graph that is obtained on plotting log x by m against log p, and this is known as the Freundlich adsorption isotherm. Now the factor 1 by n can have values between 0 and 1. So if 1 by n is equal to 0, then p raised to the power 0 is 1, so x by m becomes equal to k, which is constant. That means that adsorption is independent of pressure. And when 1 by n is equal to 1, then x by m is equal to k into p raised to the power 1, which means x by m is directly proportional to pressure, that is adsorption varies directly with pressure. This we can also see from the adsorption isotherm x by m plotted against pressure at constant temperature, and we see that at low pressures x by m is in fact directly proportional to pressure, but as the pressure increases, x by m approaches a saturation point, that is it becomes constant. Now this could not be explained by Freundlich isotherm, though it was later on explained by another scientist, Langmuir, in his isotherm, and Langmuir took into consideration the kinetic theory of molecular gases, and with the help of that he had explained the behavior of the gases, how the extent of adsorption varies with pressure both at low as well as high pressures. Now next we are going to talk about application of adsorption in our day-to-day life. There are various areas where adsorption plays a role. One of them is in preserving vacuum. For example, in thermos flasks that we use in our everyday life in our kitchen as an insulating flask, that actually during preparation of that flask, also known as Dewar flask, the phenomena of adsorption was used to create vacuum, that is to evacuate the flask completely so that no heat is lost or gained either by conduction or convection. Then in gas mask, which are used by miners or sanitary workers or even by firefighters. Activated charcoal or any other suitable adsorbent is used which can absorb poisonous gases and thus prevent the persons who are working in these areas from inhaling poisonous gases. Then in order to decolorize crude sugar, which is obtained from sugar cane, activated charcoal, animal charcoal is used, which absorbs the unwanted color and thus decolorizes the sugar solution. In heterogeneous catalysis also, we find that adsorption plays a role. So in industrial field also, in industries also, you find that adsorption is finding its application. Like for example, in hydrogenation reactions, finely divided nickel or palladium or platinum is used while converting unsaturated hydrocarbons into saturated hydrocarbons. So that is based upon the phenomena of adsorption. Then as an indicator also, in precipitation titration reactions, we make use of certain adsorbents. Like for example, eosine is an indicator which gets adsorbed on the silver bromide precipitate formed during reaction between potassium bromide and silver nitrate. And when it gets adsorbed on the precipitate, it imparts characteristic color to the precipitate, which then helps in determining the end point of the titration. Then in softening of hard water, we again make use of ion exchange resins which function on the principle of adsorption. Also, in order to remove moisture, to make certain articles dry, we make use of silica gel, which is a very good adsorbent and absorbs moisture from the surrounding atmosphere. Then in paint industry also, we are making use of the phenomena of adsorption, wherein when we apply a wetting agent like spirit on the furniture before applying paint, what we are actually doing is that we are removing all the already adsorbed gases from the surface of the furniture in order to make the surface clean, so that when we apply paint on it, then it completely covers the surface of the article. Then in chromatographic analysis, we separate a mixture of components as well as purify the various components by using the adsorption phenomena. Here a chromatographic column is taken over which a mixture of the components dissolved in a suitable solvent is poured. These different components get adsorbed on the surface of the packed adsorbent to different extents, and when we pour the mobile phase can be one particular solvent or a mixture of solvents. When this mobile phase flows down the packed adsorbent in the chromatographic column, it takes along with it the various components which have been adsorbed to different extent. The very first component which moves downward will be the one which is least strongly adsorbed on the surface of the adsorbent, and the last one to come out of the chromatographic column will be that component which is more strongly adsorbed on the adsorbent. That is how we can separate the components of a mixture and purify them. And lastly, we can also make use of the adsorption phenomena in separating the inert gases from a mixture of the noble gases, wherein we are making use of coconut charcoal at different temperatures, and we are separating the different gases because they differ with respect to the degree of adsorption from each other. Now, adsorption isobars are the relationships or the curves that we obtain when we try to express or show the variation of the extent of adsorption with respect to temperature at a constant pressure. For different types of adsorption, we obtain different types of graphs. The graph that is represented here, the adsorption isotherm, shown here in the figure is one for physical adsorption. Here you can see that as the temperature is increasing, the extent of adsorption continuously goes on decreasing, and this is, as we know, it is because when we are increasing temperature, the van der Waals forces which were holding the adsorbate on the surface of adsorbent, they are broken, and as a result of which desorption commences and the extent of adsorption decreases with increase of temperature.